What's up, guys? How's it going? Currently doing 35 and a 35, and I have a semi-truck now slowly catching up to me, which is hilarious because A, he's going over the speed limit, and B, I'm not going to, so he'll learn. But today's video is going to be named Never Judge a Book by Its Cover. Obviously, there's a story that goes with this. A pretty good story. It's sad, kind of, but good story. So, guy I started working with about 3 months ago. Showed up in my job, applied for it, got in because we don't really have a whole lot of people, and worked the last 3 months with us. Solid, good guy, nice as hell, type of guy that, big guy, you could tell he probably fucked somebody up kind of thing, but type of guy you feel like would never really hurt somebody because he's just too nice. But last Friday, he called off sick for work. And, he's been there for like 3 months, never missed a day, so it's cool, Then Monday, he called, no calls, no shows. Well, then Tuesday, no call, no show. So, we work in the field of plastic like I do. You get used to people coming, working for a couple months, and then leaving. Because they come, they show up, they realize it's a bullshit job that nobody fucking wants to do. But they also don't realize if you stay around, you make good money doing it because no one wants to fucking do it. So, we assumed that he had found another job somewhere and that, he was pretty much just ditching us. It was a little strange at first because, like I said, such a nice guy. You would just assume he would be the type that would be like, tell his employer that, he was going to be quitting or not coming back kind of thing. And, so, on Wednesday, or yesterday, we found out, which I was going to put this in my vlog, I just didn't have enough time to, so I'm actually kind of glad I didn't, because the story would have been a little different. But James, my boss, ran into his stepdad. The guy's like 40 years old, so it's not even like he's like, young, but his stepdad, they live in the town that we work in, because that's where the guy's from. And so so next thing you know, he's like talking to James, and he didn't want to get in full detail because it's not his business, or my boss's business really, but he kind of hinted toward the fact of he's in trouble with the law, and that's why he isn't showing up. So James comes, tells everybody at work, hey, Derek's not coming back because he's in trouble with the law. We all look up Derek's name on the internet and find out that he was in a robbery at a pharmacy, and the guy he was with or whatever stole like 8,000 different pills, and they had guns and all kinds of shit. Well, so we kind of judged him for a day, which is kind of rude. I know, I'm sorry. And it wasn't that I was like, I can't fucking stand that guy now because he's a criminal. I was just more like, how the fuck this super nice guy worked with us this whole entire time and not a single person realized or even made the assumption like, hey, this guy could have a past, like a felony past or something. Just one of those things when you assume somebody's in a lot of trouble for something like that, you just assume you would be able to tell, and honest to God, you'd never tell. He's not like covered in head to toe in tattoos and shit, and he's just all this other shit. And so we went, all day yesterday and then most of today then, not making fun of the guy. I don't want to be mean, make it sound like we're all like, oh, Derek's in jail, but, it's just funny when a guy that's super nice and he's shows up every day on time, and then all of a sudden he stops not showing up, and then you find out he's in jail. It's like, that's kind of ironically funny that he's in jail. So, Super sucks. I feel really bad for him and his family. But pretty much what happened in the long run, though, is a buddy of his best friend that he knew from grade school, asked him if he would be able to help him move a friend from Buffalo, New York to Doylestown, Ohio, which is pretty far distance, probably every bit of 15, 16-hour drive. He agreed to it, makes some extra money that way, goes all the way out there, picks up this guy's stuff, they drive it all the way back. Well, he got pulled over on the way back, and he ended up having 23 handguns, shotguns, and rifles in his car. Like I said, literally, I'm not even making like a joke about like the amount. Like they legit had like 5,000 or 6,000 different pills in the car. There were Xanax, there were Adderall, there were Lozapans, there were, I mean, literally like anything that you can fucking imagine that people want to get fucked up on, they had it. And he went to court for it, evidently, in state court, and they didn't rule him not guilty, but they said they didn't have enough evidence at the time to actually prosecute him and actually like put him in jail, kind of thing, because he literally was just the guy who got in trouble for driving, and he didn't know what was in his car and all that other stuff, kind of thing. So he kind of got fucked over, and so they let him go. But because he traveled from New York to Ohio and crossed state borders with drugs and weapons, that's considered a federal offense. And now because of that, he had to go to federal court. And I'm trying to beat the mailman because he's going to pull in front of my house, block me. But so because he, like I said, he went across state borders, they considered it a federal offense. And you know, he had to go back through all the court systems to hopefully get out of it a second time. And the judge wanted to give him no charges, but she said she still feels like there was he had to have known somehow, some way that something in the car could have possibly not been right. And even though he didn't, and so they gave him 18 months in prison, which is a lot. Well, I mean, for his charges of are pretty much like he's not charged with committing the crime, but he's being charged with the fact that he was there, kind of thing, pretty much. So he has to spend 18 months, which he'll probably get 12 when it comes down to like good behavior kind of situation. If he's good in jail, they'll let him out. And it's a minimum security prison. It's still prison, but it's like, it's not maximum security prison. It's really low because he's not a threat to anybody. He literally is just getting in trouble for being with other people. So, that's kind of like why I was doing the whole don't judge a book by its cover, because, it's like one of those things. You're like, you don't really ever know what's going on in somebody's life. And today my boss got a letter today in the mail from him and from prison, handwritten, about 5-6 pages long. One of the nicest, sweetest notes I've ever literally heard somebody read. Me and everybody else was in it. He pretty much thanked everybody there for giving him a chance, and because we didn't know any of this. And he said that the disappointment of letting people down, and his family already hates him because of the situation, and he doesn't like that everybody he tells looks at him with a look of disappointment. So that's why he never told us he had to go. And he said that he's like, I love the work, I love the family environment, I love the fact that everybody's real close with each other. He specifically put everybody's names in, apologizing to everybody, being I'm not a bad person, I swear I'm not a bad person, and all that stuff. And it's at the end, he gave his address to my boss, which I didn't get it today because we had customers at the shop when I went to leave work, but he left his the address of how you can mail to him. And he said if anybody wants to, write him a letter while he's in there, because, next year is going to be very boring for him. So I'm going to write him for sure. That's for sure. I'm a nice guy. I enjoyed Derek. He was a cool guy. We'll make some jokes about him being a gangster, because he always said he was gangster, but we never saw anything that would make us think he was gangster. And then to find out that he was in trouble for stuff that makes him gangster. So probably joke around about that and stuff, but it's just one of those things where he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He got put in some really shitty situation, and he has to be a man and deal with it. And I give him props for that. Could he have chosen his friends better? Probably. Could we all make better choices in life? Probably. But it doesn't give us the right to judge somebody because you don't know, like I said, we were kind of like joking, making fun prior, the day before, and then we find out today that it wasn't even his fault kind of thing. So it's like, here we were making fun of him for no reason. Like, even though I said, don't get me wrong, we're not being mean. We weren't meanly making fun of him. We were joking amongst the group. And, and he's really afraid that we're all going to, judge him. And he asked at the end of the letter if James would be at all against hiring him back. And that's why James read us that letter, because he pulled us all together, and he said, I want to know. He's like, I had no problem with the guy. I liked him, a nice guy. So, well, I'm not going to bring him back if nobody here wants to work with somebody who's been through prison kind of thing. We were all like, hell yeah, hire him back in the year. He was a great guy. He busted his ass. Well worth hiring back. So, like I said, people, just kind of remember in your life when you're living day to day and you know somebody that maybe you work with and stuff, just remember, even though they share stuff with you about their life, there could be things they don't share with you and that you don't know. Like I said, Derek never once hinted ever toward him being in trouble for something, like being a bad person, doing drugs. Like, none of that was ever present, I'm not sitting here saying he does drugs, but they found drugs on him. So I'm just meaning, it's kind of a shocker when you learn all this stuff and then you're just like, holy shit, he was a completely different person than what I thought he was, because I judged the book by its cover. And we don't appreciate that. So just remember that, people. Keep your heads up. Stay safe. Make smart decisions. Live life to the fullest. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Friday. But if you like this video, a like would be much appreciated. You could also leave a like for Derek, my buddy Derek, who's now in prison. You could leave a comment below and tell me if you possibly ever had a situation where you knew somebody for X amount of time and found out that their outside of work life or outside of wherever you knew them life was completely different. You leave that in the comments, let me know. If you're new to the channel, you should subscribe to keep up with awesome content. And come on, camera, focus on me. And if you're already part of the channel, you should share the video and show other people why we don't judge books by their covers. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm enjoying this. Goodbye.